Hi Facebook friends, it's Michelle Calloway here, and it is time for our Tech with Heart. I'm going to be introducing Lauren Cohen. Let me see if I can just bring her in. Let's see, tag Lauren. There she goes. See if she can join us. Sorry, I'm using my mobile, which is not my norm. Okay, now how do I get rid of that screen? Okay. Here we go. Hi Debbie, how are you? Lauren says nothing yet. We're going to try and see if we can bring Lauren on. Oh, there she is. I'm going to see if I can bring her on now. Let's approve her. All right, let's see if we can get her on here. So I'm excited to be bringing Lauren onto Tech with Heart stage today because she's going to be talking to us about business legal strategy and how to help your business set up for success so that it can be bulletproof.
Oh, wow. This is a whole new thing. That's like a double
Yeah,
screen. It's all switched around now. I never did this before. Wow, this is like high tech with Tech at Heart.
It's a little different than what I'm normally used to. So sorry for being late for those of you who've been waiting to hear. We've got a very special guest today, and Lauren Cohen is all the way from Florida, correct?
Yes, I traveled far to come to this today.
I know.
Right?
She's like, yeah, light speed ahead, yeah.
Light speed. I'm so fast. You know, people tell me that I'm an implementer. This is really a heavy-duty implementation. It's a good thing I wasn't going to Chicago, or I wouldn't have gone there because all the flights are canceled.
I heard about Chicago having like below 55 degrees in temperature. Uh-oh, let's hopefully my Wi-Fi signal is going to survive here. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I'm back. Quiet mode, swipe left. I don't know what that means. Quiet mode, swipe left. Oh, all the time.
So, hey, while Lauren's...
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, all right, because it says, yeah, it just said quiet mode. I'm like, what in the world is quiet mode? Okay. You and I, no quiet mode.
Watch it now, girl.
Come on, Michelle, you and I, we speak the same language. It is not quiet.
You know what? If you want to be seen, you gotta be a little bit loud. You don't have to be obnoxious.
Yeah.
Lauren, I want to, since we're a little bit late, I want to go ahead and get going and get people to hear about your amazingness.
Thank you.
I want to share a little bit about, for those of you who do not know what Tech with Heart is, I wanted to explain to you this whole movement that we're doing. Hi, Jerry. Jerry says, hi, guys. So the Tech with Heart initiative was all brought about because I was called to build an augmented reality marketing company after I was introduced to the technology when I owned my own graphic design agency. So I've always been into the digital media, visual communications, and when I started developing with augmented reality back in 2012, a young friend of mine saw that I could make images and objects come alive with virtual content all around me. And she asked me if she could help work with me to create a greeting card because she had fallen in love with this soldier who had then since deployed overseas. I know. So we created this greeting card with her beautiful face on it. And then when he received it and he watched it come alive with the app, let me see if I can get this to engage here.
Oh, I love
that. She comes alive and talks to him.
Oh.
Hey Josh, it's Gabby.
See how the card is actually coming alive?
That is so great.
It's raining here.
So he said when he saw her come alive and talk to him on the card, he felt like the oceans just disappeared between them. He said it rocked him to his core, and he felt that she was right there with him. So he folded that card and put it in his wallet and carried it with him every day while he was serving because he felt so much more connected to her. So when I saw that human response, you know, and having lost my husband, the love of my life, earlier on, way too early in life, I truly value human connection. And I knew that maybe why I was called to this was because I can help people use emerging technology to enhance their human connection. So that set me on this path to build Revealio, which is the company that I have right now, augmented reality marketing tool. But then as I was explaining how business owners can use this to make their business card come alive, let's see if I can have one of those. I had it earlier here, my business card. Oh yeah, here we go. So
I
when
didn't know
business
that your
owners,
business card did that. Duh. Like, why didn't I know that? Of course your business card would do that.
so
Let
your
me
business
see.
card, yeah, your business card now comes alive with this Revealio tool too, which allows you to have way more impact and influence immediately. Within less than 60 seconds, you can have somebody like completely enamored with you and
I'm
understand what it is
enamored.
you do. So let's see if we can get this business card to go in here, this Revealio app. Oopsie. Gotta love it when that happens
Technology.
during the demo.
Technology. Right, exactly. It's always super, but that's the best time.
And trying to do it this way is just so fun, right? Trying to do this demo like this. Oh, righty, there we
Oh,
go.
wait a minute. You're on a different phone for the. That's so
Yes.
crazy. You have
Let's see
two
if I can
phones.
get,
That's a good thing.
come on, engage. There we go.
Hi, Michelle Calloway here. I'm speaker.
See how my business card is actually coming alive with my message, and then these buttons
Okay,
over here on
okay.
the side.
Sign me up. Sign me up. I need that.
So that is, anyway, the technology that I was bringing to the table for small business owners. It's called augmented reality video marketing, and it's through my company Revealio. Well, the Tech with Heart initiative came as a result from all of these business owners seeing this amazing power that they had no idea ever existed, right? You didn't know it existed before I had met
Clearly
you.
not. I mean, I
Yeah.
saw it on the wine bottle, which we can talk about, but I didn't know. Yes, I didn't know.
Yeah. So when I started hearing these small business owners, they're just complaining. They're like, my gosh, technology is like one of my #1 biggest pain points in business. I know I need it, but it just overwhelms me, or it shuts me down, or I can't keep up with it. Things are moving too fast. And so I realized that maybe what my calling beyond obviously making a tool that can connect human beings, and just move over to the side a little bit so you're in the frame more. So
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just writing some notes. I apologize. Sorry about that. You want to see my whole face? Really? Why? I'm using Revealio. I'm sorry. I just, sorry.
Right. So anyway, I started up this initiative called Tech with Heart because I really believed in the community, providing a safe haven community of small business owners who really do want to be able to learn a little bit more about emerging technologies and how it can help their business without having to do all the research, without having to be overwhelmed. And they can ask the questions that they need to ask without feeling like it's an unsafe place. It's a very safe place. We welcome your questions. And in fact, if you have questions during our Tech with Heart interview today, please put them in the chat box. In fact, if you're here watching us live, please put in the chat box #live so that we know that you're here. And if you're watching the replay too, please just put #replay. And then if you have questions even after this interview, please post those questions, and Lauren or I would be more than happy to get back to you, because that's what this community is all about. We are a safe place to ask good questions, or even if you think it's a dumb question, just ask that question, because if you're thinking it, probably somebody else is thinking it too. So it's Tech with Heart is a community of heart-centered business owners who want to use technology, but they want to use it in a way that it does indeed enhance human connection. We do not ever want to replace our need for one another. That is not at all what this initiative is about. It's how can we use technology to enhance that human connection. Then it is also about empowerment. So we want to empower people by enlightening them with the technology, the knowledge. And that's where Lauren today is going to talk to us about something that we've never had anybody talk to us about on this group before. It's more about the business strategy, the strategic, legal even aspects of setting up your business so that you will be bulletproof, essentially, so that you will reach the heights of your success. And that's a beautiful thing. And there's technology involved with that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And then, so after we empower somebody through the knowledge, then we obviously would empower them to be able to take those next steps. Who should they be signing up to be coached by or mentored by, or what service should they be signing up? So that is the purpose of the Tech with Heart initiative. And every month we try and bring on business experts who are indeed heart-centered, right? And we want to keep that heart-centeredness going in the technology space. So hence Tech with Heart. So with that, now you understand what Tech with Heart is all about. I want to do a beautiful introduction of our very special guest today. Her name's Lauren Cohen, and she is a globally recognized entrepreneur and a #1 best-selling author. That's awesome. She's an international transactional lawyer who's licensed in USA and Canada, and she's an expert concierge business legal advisor. So she's got a stellar track record of success. She's got firsthand knowledge of what it's like to process through the visa immigration process, especially because she did all that from Canada over to the U.S.
It is a different country. People don't realize, but it really, really is. You still have to do everything.
Yeah, so that's good. She has that immigration type knowledge and that she's bringing to the table. And then also she's built a solution. It's a one-stop shop solution that I think you're just going to fall head over heels with, because she's dealing with stuff that business owners like me, we don't really want to deal with it, but it needs to be dealt with. Again, you have to have the whole circle of foundational you're building your business on the whole foundation, not just parts of the foundation. So she's going to be able to help you understand what maybe gaps you are experiencing in your business, or give you some ideas on how to go to her one-stop solution to help fill in those gaps and to prepare your business to be able to scale. So she's also just recently announced, which I'm excited about because that's how I met Lauren, is that she has been now brought on faculty of the Forbes and Inc. renowned global networking group and training program called CEO Space International, which is where I met Lauren, because CEO Space International is where the top level CEOs go to be continually trained and mentored. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I'm excited. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. It is exciting. And by the way, I just want to tell you that one of the most exciting things for me when I was in San Diego, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, was when I was at the restaurant at the hotel, Paradise Point, I think the hotel is called. And the restaurant was called Barefoot something or other. And I was standing there was a couple sitting, and I was talking with them. And somebody brought over this bottle of wine and was showing them through this, the phone, this wine bottle label, and they were going crazy. And I go, wait a minute, I know the person that developed that. And I was so excited, and I sent a picture to Michelle, and she's like, where is it? And I'm like telling her, and it was really exciting. And they thought it was nuts, the couple at the table. Like they were in the same coaching program as me, but they thought I was just a little over the top, which I might be. But anyway, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. So it's exciting when you see when you see your friends and colleagues, then their businesses are doing well, and you get to give them wins, just like you just gave me the nice kudos for becoming CEO Space faculty, which is an absolute thrill. I'm so excited about it. I'm excited to be here as well. So thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
So now that you're here, we want to go straight into learning more about what it is that you do and how you can help our small business owners fish, or what do you call it? Not fish through, but filter through. Much. It's very overwhelming.
And it is a fishing expedition, so you're not off. You're not far off. It really is. Even for some of us lawyers and professionals that are doing those fishing expeditions, yes.
So what would you say is the greatest impact that you can help an entrepreneur or business owner overcome?
Sure, absolutely. And I will answer, but I wanted to, when you were doing your intro, I wrote a couple of points, and I just wanted to kind of reflect on what you mentioned and how it relates to what I'm building and what I do, and how I can help, and your business scale and your client's businesses scale, and so on. So you said that one of the biggest pain points for most entrepreneurs is tech. I am right there with all those other entrepreneurs, because technology is our biggest ally and our worst enemy at the same time.
Yeah.
But so are all of the other things or components of running a business that I deal with. So at least a lot of them. For example, you said dealing with all the stuff that the business owner doesn't want to deal with, such as legal, insurance, business plans, systems, structure, foundation. Okay, don't pass out over there. Okay. Knowing your numbers. Right, exactly. Knowing your numbers. And the reality is that for a business owner that wants to scale up for expansion purposes, or ultimately scale up to sell, which is where, Michelle, you introduced me to John, and he's helping with some of the language of that, which I'm going to follow up with him today.
Nice,
I'm going to
nice,
put a
nice.
note. But so it's very important that, like, you know, if you want to eventually exit your business, sell your business, expand your business to sell, whatever, you have to make sure that you have a super strong foundation. Because if you don't build that foundation super strong, you're not going to be able to exit. You're not going to be able to scale. So my impact is going to business owners that, especially in the tech field, because a lot of you have, you know, have kind of, they're definitely a different brain than me, different type of working brain than me. I don't understand this stuff. But to understand that you don't know what you don't know, it's the most common saying. But the reality is that if you can get these things in place, you and us can impact many more people, have a much greater impact in the world, because you don't have to deal with all that stuff that you don't want to deal with. Just like I don't want to deal with all the tech stuff, and if I do, everything's going to fall apart. So when I speak, I talk about building your dream home on a sinkhole. Okay? You can, you know, put all your heart and soul into building this dream home, your money, your heart, your soul, your time, everything. The home is there. It's beautiful. You move in. 2 months later, there's a crack. There's another crack. There's another crack. And suddenly your whole home is caved in because you built it on a sinkhole. Well, you didn't know. Or you know those Jenga games that we play with our kids, and you take out one block and suddenly the whole tower crashes down. It's the same concept. So my impact is in helping entrepreneurs to deal with, business owners and entrepreneurs, to deal with that stuff that's not the fun stuff, it's not the sexy stuff, but at the end of the day, it's the stuff that's going to make your business that much more fun and sexy, so you can have a greater impact.
I love that. Oh, because people need to know about you. And then the other beautiful thing, and I know you're going to talk about it, is this one-stop solution.
Right.
So when I was setting up my business, I have never really loved all of those details. And my brain is not a detail-oriented person. Even though I am a tech founder, you have to understand that I'm more of a visionary. I don't want to deal with those details either. I have a team of tech.
Right.
I don't need to be in the tech and doing it myself. People ask me all the time, "Oh, did you build that Revelio?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I built it, but I didn't actually
conceptually
be in there doing the nuts and bolts and the
exactly.
and the code." No. I'm better used elsewhere.
Right.
I'm more out in front, and I'm leading people. So it's
very quietly, though. Very quietly, right? Very quietly. That's going to be our going joke, Michelle.
Yes, Lauren and I are the shy ones.
Yeah, we're very shy. Super shy, yeah.
Yeah.
Blend into a crowd.
Yeah, so one of the things that has actually kind of deterred me from going into business before I actually did is because I didn't want to deal with all those details that you just talked about. So you're providing a solution that is a one-stop solution for everything legal, everything kind of HR, right? You're helping people understand what their systems should be. And even if you don't have the capabilities within yourself to actually build those systems, heck, that's where I could come in, and I could plug in some holes. So that's another beautiful thing about this Tech with Heart community, is that we all see how we can all complement each other. Services you provide are definitely stuff that I don't want to deal with, and the stuff that I deal with is stuff that you don't want to deal with. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So anyway, yeah, I love the fact that you are the one that has decided, rather than making somebody scurry over here to go talk to a legal lawyer or an IP guy, I mean, yeah, that's a whole nother beast, right? The whole IP and trademarking and patenting and all that stuff, versus just even setting up your business structure legally, like corporations and Corporation C, whatever. I mean, there's just so much. And so you're providing a one-stop shop to provide access to all of those things on the business strategy side. And you even have like this, and we're going to talk about this. How can somebody go to your ScaleUP CheckUP site now? Or I think you're gonna have to give me that link again. Talk about that, because you've even found an easy way to like help them see right away where their gaps may lie, and then you're able to come in and say, okay, now let's just hone in on these problematic areas or if they're at the very beginning onset of setting up their business, boy, are you a haven, because you just save them so many hours, so many dollars, because it's a one-stop shop. Beautiful.
Well, I don't need to say anything because you have just covered it all. So she's obviously a supporter, a cheerleader. She's my big cheerleader over here. That's why I love Michelle. So let me go like a little back, because you're 100% right. The whole concept, what came to me, because I've been doing corporate and immigration transactional work for many, many years, working with entrepreneurs, not just domestically, not just all over the country, but globally, from almost every country in the world, coming into the US, accessing businesses, finding businesses, developing businesses, getting visas. And then what happens 5 years when they have to renew their visa or something like that? And if they're not doing what they need to do to keep their structure sound, they're going to fall apart, whether they're like on a visa or not. And then I saw all these business owners spending all this money on networking and coaching and sales and marketing and all of this stuff, and not paying attention because, you waited. Most people don't. They're just kind of like, oh, let's just run this business. We'll just call it ABC Enterprises, okay? And ABC Enterprises doesn't exist, but they're going to do it anyway. And they don't set up the company, and they don't get the tax ID, and they don't separate their business from themselves, and they're exposing themselves and their children and their family and their home to huge liability. And I said, okay, there's got to be a way to create a safe place for these business owners to come, so they're not spending 20, 40, 60,000 or going to those online services like LegalZoom, which I'm not supposed to say out loud, but I didn't really just say that, right? But yeah, but somebody said, you need to do a webinar about why not to use LegalZoom. I'm like, no, that's not a good idea. I'm not going to do that. But the reality is that so many of us, we just, we're so busy trying to get the business done. We're like, oh, let's just go to this thing and just get it done. But you don't know what you're doing necessarily. And LegalZoom, not that they're bad or good, but they're not holding your hand. They're not having a holistic picture of what you're trying to do or what you are doing. So if you go to them and say, I need a trademark, wonderful, here's your trademark. Let's get that done for you. But what does that mean for your business? Maybe it's not a trademark that you really need. Maybe you need to copyright some materials, which I need to do. Maybe you need to look at a patent. Maybe there's other options. Maybe you have multiple trademarks. Maybe you have some licensing opportunities. So the difference between those individual service providers, like you're talking about, scurrying about trying to find them, and somebody like me is that I'm the quarterback. So I'm not actually the one necessarily providing the services, and certainly not outside of my scope of knowledge. And in California, for example, if you're in California, you need a California attorney to do XYZ and so on. But I'm the person that's going to give you a comprehensive success plan, which you and I have to work on next, Michelle. I think we were going to schedule something after this call to do a success plan for you, which outlines all of the professionals that you need to accomplish your goals. That doesn't mean that you're going to hire every single person or do every single thing in the next 4 months or 6 months. It just means that this is your blueprint, okay?
It's a roadmap.
And then it's a roadmap, exactly. And then we take that roadmap and we say, okay, let's look at your budget and your priorities and see how we can make this as effective as possible to meet your needs, cover your butt, and get you protected while you're scaling up for whatever purpose you're scaling up, to expand or to sell. And obviously, your timeline is going to be more aggressive. Let's say if you want to sell in a year. I have one client who wants to sell her business within a year and a half. And so we have to get all these things in place quickly because she really needs to ramp it up so that she doesn't lose money when she sells. So this is kind of what we do. So it is a one-stop shop, and I become kind of your go-to, almost like an in-house counsel type of role, but not just legal. And that's the beauty. Like one of the most common, things that business owners seem to need is systems, yes, from the technology standpoint, but also systems like operating systems and policies and procedures. Like how do you answer the phone? Because you want to make sure that there's consistency as you're delivering. So this is what I noticed as common pervasive themes, which is why the success plan and the assessment, which you did, Michelle, are kind of covering multiple disciplines. And I will share, and we can share this on the screen, of course, that I do have a download, a free download called the 7 Secret Scale Up Strategies, and in there is a chart. I think I may have shared it with you, and if not, I absolutely will. But there's a chart in there which outlines the main types of corporate entities and what their classifications or characteristics are. And you can find this. It's free. It's just a download. Please go to ScaleUPCheckUP.net. So that's all one word, ScaleUPCheckUP.net, and you can download that free. It's a white paper, and it's great, and it talks about business plans and all types of legal stuff, and it's very simple to read and very user-friendly. And by the end of the call, Michelle, we'll talk a little bit about the other freebie that I'm offering today.
ScaleUPCheckUp.net. I just put it in the comment section. So
perfect. Thank you.
Are hearing and listening. There you go. Okay, it's populating very nicely.
Okay,
so please
perfect.
do that, and that's a free tool for them to do that, and it gives them a lot of understanding. A lot of the things that you're saying, you know, when you're just getting going as a startup, we're about through 2.5, 3 years in now, and so luckily, when I first got going with this technology company, we were getting mentored by investor advisors, and they really did help us a lot. They got us. I felt like I was drinking from a fire hose, to be honest, you know, because there was just a lot of data coming at me, and it was a lot geared towards, you know, structuring your company for success, because a great idea is just that. It's a great idea, but then the implementation of that great idea into an actual business is so much more than just create the product and sell the product. Well, it is good to be able to have somebody like what you're saying, where you can come in and kind of act almost like their concierge and getting them all set up, because most small business owners just don't have all of that knowledge when they come to the table. They just don't. And there's no real like school. I mean, the universities, usually like the SBDC, they have some services that you can reach out to. And, you know, oftentimes those are complimentary services. Hi, Chantel. Thank you for joining us today. We're talking about getting your business legal strategy set up airtight so that your business is bulletproof. And Lauren here has got a one-stop shop. And so I was talking about the value of having somebody in your corner that because otherwise you have to you have to go over here for some legal advice, and then you have to go over here for, holy cow, what's the difference between an employee, and if I do have employees, what does that mean? What kind of insurances do I have to have? And there's all of that stuff. And then there's the whole like policies and procedures that Lauren just talked about. Is like, oh my.
I can see you love that, Michelle. I can see you just love that stuff. Yeah.
You know, I love the success part of business, but sometimes it's the getting in there process. Like, if you're thinking about building a house or even repairing keeping a car up and running, you have to get dirty sometimes. You have to get into the weeds a little bit and make sure that either the people that you hire, and that's another thing Lauren can help you with too, is help you make sure that you are indeed hiring the right people, because you want to be able to delegate. You want to be able to let others help you build your business, because it's just way too much for one person and you can't do it alone. So these people need to be taught. They need to know their stuff for their field. So
trained. Exactly.
It's so important to hire the right people. And then there's that trust factor, and who do you give different levels of authority and access to different things to, you know. And as a young company, a lot of those things, many of us wear many hats. And if we're going to be wearing many hats as we grow, then we also need to know what that roadmap is for where we're going. And we need to be implementing things along the way, because you don't go from A to Z. And I love.
Well, you do, but you're gonna fall apart in the process if you do. If you just run.
If you don't do it right, then you fail, and then you have to close your doors, because you either ran out of funding, you ran out of time, you ran out of something. I mean, that's where it's so beautiful to have a place like you're talking about, ScaleUP CheckUp, to kind of do an analysis, figure out where your gaps lie, and have somebody that's professional and friendly and heart-centered to come in and say, okay, let's help you figure out where we can start. Because, you know, in phases, things need to happen in phases. You can't just expect somebody to plug all their gaps in like a day or two or even a month. These things take time. but having that roadmap figured out for you is so incredibly helpful. So yeah, please visit Lauren's ScaleUPCheckUp.com. Let me see what else I'd like to ask you here. Missing out on opportunities because you've been overlooked. Let's talk about that. What kind of scenarios have you seen where businesses just weren't quite set up properly and they were actually overlooked? Because I have a few things I could add to that area.
Sure. So I think that one of the most common things that happens, and I actually saw, having done, I don't know how many of your listeners would have heard of EB5, but EB5 is a program whereby U.S. businesses raise capital from foreign investors so they can expand their U.S. business, and the foreign investor invests the money in the U.S. business, gets a green card, and there are jobs created as a result of the investment. In the process of doing a lot of this EB5 stuff, I heard from a lot of businesses that were looking for an exit because they're just not, they're not meeting the standard requirements. Like when a business owner or somebody is looking for a business to buy in the US, so a prospective business owner is looking, they're not going to look at the business that doesn't have their tax returns filed, doesn't have their books and records lined up, doesn't pass what's called due diligence, which is basically a process whereby all the different components of your business are analyzed, not just the numbers, the legal stuff, the systems, the process, all of how are you running your business? What's your operating system? What are you doing to keep your business going and scaling and whatever? And so let's say that prospective investor or buyer could overlook you, or you're looking for an investor or investors, and you're not going to be considered seriously because you haven't dotted your I's and crossed your T's. And it's not that it's simple to do it, but it's not as complicated as you may think. And if you work with somebody like me or my team, that will really help you to get those pieces in place so that you can scale successfully, and will hold your hand through the process. It's going to make all the difference. It really is.
Yeah, I love that. Holding your hand through the process. That's another part of this Tech with Heart. Tech with Heart exists to help you, the small business owner, understand that there are technologies out there that probably can seriously elevate your game. Systems that we can help you put in place so that things are running more efficiently and smoothly. Lauren is basically taking that same concept and now she's wrapping it all up into more of the legal side, the structuring side, getting the setup so that you will be looked upon favorably. It's the due diligence stuff that she is helping you provide get in place so that when that opportunity does present itself for funding, for investment, whatever it is that you're set up to take on, that you're prepared. You have it all nicely prepared in a box, kind of like
wrapped up and ready to go.
Yeah. And somebody says, "Oh, can I have your blah blah blah?" And you're just like, "Of course."
Here you go.
Rather than going,
and if not, right, and if you don't have the here you go, you have somebody to call that can help you with the here you go.
Yes.
Instead of it being a total panic like you just showed. Yeah.
Yeah, when you have that panic, that never bodes well, and not only for your business but for your own health.
Yes.
So yes, it is very beneficial to have somebody like Lauren and her team in your corner. Is where I was going with that, and knowing that they will indeed hold your hand through the process. I love that. So, all right, Lauren, let's say. Because we're kind of getting close to our time to wrap it up, what would be the top 3 tips that you could give a small business owner when it comes to, I guess, let's just say a company is a couple years old and they haven't done some of these things. What would be the first 3 things that you would recommend that they start taking a serious look at, and why?
Okay, so, and I don't remember which top 3 tips that I sent you, but the top 3 tips, it really depends on the size of your business. But I'm going to talk about the average small business around, scaling on to 7 figures between, let's say, $1 and $5 million, or even it could be a little bit lower. So the first tip I would have is work with a coach or a business consultant. Don't try to do all of this alone. because if you do, you're going to be overwhelmed. So work with a coach, a business consultant, and a trusted advisor, which is me, of course, and make sure that you have a team that you can trust to get everything done for you, whether it be your internal team or your external professional team. And if you try to pull documents off the internet or go to those places that we're not going to mention again online to get access to legal and other stuff, you're going to end up in a mess. It's just the way it is, because that's what seems to happen. Most lawyers' biggest source of biggest marketing opportunity is those companies and people coming to them after they've tried to use those companies and haven't really done so well.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. The second thing is to really look at your foundation and make sure that you do have your I's dotted and your T's crossed, and have somebody that really understands what that means look at it with you. I've just today launched a brand new quiz, which I'm going to share with your audience now. You're going to like it, Michelle. It's called...
You want me to type it in? Hang on a second. Let me just get my
sure.
paper here.
You'll remember this. It's easy. It's called showmethemoneyquiz.com. Showmethemoneyquiz.com. And it's just launching today. I don't even know if it's built into the funnel yet. I think today's the day it's supposed to, but it's super cool. And you like it, right? And there will be
it's all good.
So there will be a landing page. I think it should be ready by tomorrow, which is all about how we can help you access more money. So, do you want to see the money? Do you want us to show you the money? Here's how. And there's this quiz that talks about all these different things. And it's interesting because there are 4 pillars that we identify in the quiz that are really the 4 pillars of any successful business. And I just want to make sure I don't misstate them. So the 4 pillars are your vision, your mindset, your planning, and your commitment. And we wrap around all 4 of those pillars of a successful business, right? Because if you're not committed and your mindset isn't there, it doesn't matter how much money you have. And also, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. We all know this. So let's get you organized and together. And then the third tip would be not try to operate on a shoestring. Because if you're afraid to spend a few dollars to get the people that you need in place, or to get that professional website, or to work with, professionals that can help you get those systems in place, you're just going to end up spinning in circles. And the longer you do that, the more money you're going to end up wasting instead of putting a little bit into your business. So consult with somebody that can help you get access to funding. We do have many funding sources available. So get the funding in place. As Michelle said, working with the investor consulting team when she was starting was a big part of her success. And that's very true, because they can bring a lot to the table, not just money.
No,
and one more thing which is connected to that, I'm sorry. People are always afraid of giving away a piece of their business, right? Mm-hmm. Just like businesses are afraid, somebody's going to steal my idea. And the comparison that I always draw is McDonald's and Burger King. So I've helped a lot of franchises launch. And McDonald's was, the first really big franchise. I actually wrote a book about franchising and foreign investors. And 2 chapters were about franchising. And McDonald's was the first really big one. Although Singer Sewing Machines was the real first one. Isn't that funny? Probably.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, nobody does. But McDonald's. So what happened? Burger King came along and basically kind of copied the model to a certain extent. Does Burger King really have the traction that McDonald's has? Not even close.
No.
McDonald's is everywhere. McDonald's is the arches. Burger King, you don't know. Yesterday I was driving back from Orlando at night, and my son was sleeping in the car, and I needed a coffee, and there wasn't really anywhere. He was sleeping. I could only go to a drive-through. And I was like, I just got to find those arches. I know I'm safe. I know I'm going to get a decent, right? And this is important because as you're building your business, you want to be able to scale up to grow, scale up to sell. So pay attention to these important features and make sure that you get the funding that you need.
Yeah, the funding is a huge one, and I think that's like we could have a whole nother Tech with Heart just about how to get funding and the
Yep.
different types of funding. Because Lauren actually taught me something that I didn't know about. There's even ways that you can go the nonprofit route, perhaps. Yeah. So that there's so much probably out there knowledge-wise that you don't know about that perhaps you don't have time to study or whatnot.
Right.
And that's where it is beautiful to know of a resource like what Lauren's got at ScaleUPCheckUP.net. Is that what you're saying for the quiz?
The .net is for the download. So yeah, that's
Okay,
for the download.
If you want to check out Lauren, I'm going to be just every time I talk about her, we're going to be promoting that website because it's scary when you have to think about these things, and perhaps you are on a shoestring budget, or you just, these are things you need to address as a small business owner. You just, it's just not something you want to do. It is beautiful that you have offered a tool that at least helps them to start seeing some of the big gaping sinkhole gaps that perhaps they have in their business, and how to at least know to go to a resource. I mean, you do free consultations at first.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And then she'll explain to you what it's going to take to help you get these gaps fixed. And I'm sure there's some things you can try and do on your own, but there's other things that you're just not gonna want to do, and shouldn't be doing. So
No.
please just
don't do it. Don't do it. Call me first.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that even if you are on a shoestring budget and we have a consultation with you and we learn what some of the gaps are, I mean, you will help us figure out with where we're at that point, what to do next. That's the beautiful thing. You won't just say, oh, well, this is what you need to do, and well, if you can't afford this $sign, then see you later, alligator.
Right.
Heart-centered people don't do that. You don't leave people hanging. You give them ideas on what they could start with, and then come back to you when they're ready to take the next step. Right. So
yeah, I want to bring value to you because that in turn brings value to me. And that also creates a community of like-minded people, heart-centered, that will refer each other. I'll give you a very quick example. This morning I had a woman contact me. She contacted me a couple of weeks ago. We had a call set up for this morning. And she needed some steps. She's negotiating with a very big player. So she's an individual and she's negotiating with a very big player. So I gave her 4 steps to follow, 4 recommendations. The first one she said was not in her budget. So I said, okay, that's fine. At least do the other 3, because if you don't do the other 3, you're going to be squashed by this mammoth. So she was just thrilled because basically I gave her a roadmap, and that was a free consult. So I probably gave away a little too much. But anyway, whatever. It's good. It's good. It creates rapport and builds trust, and I'm happy to do it. And yeah, Michelle, you're right. Nonprofits are a great way to augment and build your business and help to scale it as well, and give you a really great way to give back, which these days is so important.
Yeah, philanthropy, guys. That's another beautiful tool. We had a Tech with Heart guest couple, I think it was December, that we talked about how philanthropy can actually help grow your business. So
Absolutely.
It's never too late to start giving back, because it just does so much for your inner culture, your internal team culture, as well as your brand, and your heart. So anyway, if you ever want to just join Tech with Heart group and just flow through some of our past Tech with Heart interviews, please welcome to do so. If you'd like to join our Tech with Heart mailing list so that you're getting notified of these interviews or even the replays afterwards, go to techwithheartnetwork.com. I'll put it in the comment section. You can join that group for free. If you'd like to ever be interviewed on this platform, please also reach out to me through the techwithheartnetwork.com or this Facebook Tech with Heart group, because we really want to hear from you. And if you have a subject that you would like to hear about, also please share that as well. Again, if you're watching live, put #live in the comment section for us. And if you're watching the replay, put #replay. Also post your questions in the comment section of this interview, because Lauren or I will be able to address those questions for you, so that even if you weren't able to watch this interview live, the beauty of Facebook is that everything continues to stay live. It's out there, and it's getting circulated around. And if you know of somebody who's struggling to get their small business going, or they're at that point, that critical point where they're growing, but they have a huge gap between you know, C to F. You know, they need to figure out how to bridge that gap. Please share this information with them so that they can also reach out to Lauren. ScaleUP CheckUp ScaleUPCheckUp.com. Is that right? ScaleUPCheckUp.
They both work. One is just for the download.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
100%.
it's a beautiful one-stop shop thing. Business legal, business HR, a lot of business structure, strategy, systems, all that stuff that's more business-centric. Please, you know, take a look at what she's put together there. It's brilliant. I am not one of those people who likes to go here, there, and everywhere. If I could just go under one hood, work with one entity to take care of all of those things, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. So anyway, Lauren.
Well, I'm here for you. You know that. That's what we're going to do.
It's been an absolute honor to have you spend this amount of time with us, sharing with us what you have. When it comes to the tech of it all, you know, there's, I know we're Tech with Heart. We talked about the heart and the business structure. Is there any tools per se, technology-wise, that you use with your clients that people, I don't know, have never heard of, or just share with you? What is it that you're using, like in your quizzes? Like, what is the tool that you use to put together your quizzes?
I use Smart Biz Quiz. It's called smartbizquiz.com, and it's really good.
It's a subscription base that you pay a monthly fee to have access to
exactly.
that?
Yeah, but I did have somebody do a training, somebody from CEO Space who did my first quiz, and she trains us on how to use it. Yes.
So so people fill out the quiz. You receive all of that data. Does the data get dumped somewhere that you can like decipher it out later, or does it create?
It's all in. Yeah, you have your account. Yes, exactly. All of the data is in your account, and it can go into your CRM if you connect it to your CRM.
A beautiful thing. CRM, if those of you who don't know what that is, it's a customer relationship management software, and that allows you to keep track of who has come in through your funnels. They call them funnels. When you have, like, Lauren's using her quiz as her funnel to get people their information, their name, their email, and some contact information. And in her case, she's collecting a lot more data about you so that she can turn around and figure out how to help you. So
yeah, not to spam you. Promise.
No,
God forbid. No,
it's so uncool to spam.
So uncool.
Anyway, but that was a very cool tech tool. Thank you so much. And when you get done with this call, would you mind putting that name of that quiz company in the comment section?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I will try. I may not be able to do it. I have to run to get my son, but I will do it in the next little bit. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Lauren.
Thank you, Michelle. Pleasure.
All right. Take care. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
With your son. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.